Alright, this is a video on the modifications I made on my Fluval Edge. This video is strictly just to explain in detail the different modifications on this tank. My first problem with this tank is that I'm doing salt water with it, and that little 20 aqua clear filter that comes with is totally, insufficient for salt water. Let me turn these lights down. I'll get into the lights in a second. Okay. Alright, that's white. Okay, so what I did was I made a custom overflow on this tank. And, before I bought this tank, I was watching a lot of videos on nano reefs. And in particular, I like this tank's design. It's very sleek, very modern looking. And I was looking for a tank to put on my computer desk. And this tank was perfect for it. So after brainstorming, I decided I wanted to put an overflow box on the tank, and I'm going to explain to you how I did it. I made about 4 or 5 videos before I posted this one, and I didn't put them up because what I did not work, so I'm not going to waste everybody's time with showing you what not to do. I basically, got this set up from trying different things and failing, basically. Alright, so let's get to it. I'm going to turn off the lights. The LEDs I'll explain afterwards. 1 second. Okay. Okay. As far as the lighting goes on the tank, I'll get into that. There's a company called Edge Bright LEDs, and they make lights specifically for this tank. You don't have to screw anything together or anything like that. Okay. So what I did was I removed the filter and I made an overflow box out of plexiglass. Plexiglass you get at any hardware store, Home Depot. Now, what I planned on doing was notching out the teeth over here inside the back of the tank, so it would have the overflow gate like a standard overflow box with the teeth. But the problem is the design in this tank, and I found this out the hard way. Since this is a topped tank and it has no water line, what happens is as the water is put into the tank, it's not pushed up over the perimeter of the tank. It's all pushed up in this one area here. So the flow upward is much, much stronger in this tank because the water only has a certain area to come up. So being that's the case, the result is with the teeth, the water doesn't flow through the teeth fast enough. And I tried widening the teeth. I tried many different things, taking teeth out altogether. But in the end, the water level always rises too high on this rim, which makes it dangerous for the LED light. So in the end, what I did was I just cut a clean gate out. The water flows clean into the overflow box now, and I have no trouble. So now with that, the whole reason why I did this modification is because, getting back to the filtration, I want to put a refugium and a protein skimmer on this tank. So I got the 13 by 13 eShops Nano Cube Refugium. It's small, it's extremely efficient. It's rated for 10 to 65 gallons. This is a 6-gallon tank, so it's definitely oversized, which is what I want. It comes with a skimmer, which is also, it doesn't come with a skimmer, but it has a skimmer compartment, which is also, obviously bigger than what I need for this tank, which is, in my opinion, the most important thing for a reef tank. Okay, so what I did was, let me take this back piece off. I used a Dremel, which my Dremel is right over here. Okay, you can get any standard Dremel. This is a battery Dremel. It's got all the connections with it and everything like that. But, it's very important to do for this because with the Dremel you can shape and carve out all the pieces you want. I use an acrylic cutter just to cut the acrylic. Okay, the overflow box, I'll post pictures up when I made it, is 3 inches deep by 6.5 inches, 3 inches wide by 6.5 inches deep by 5 inches wide. Okay, so it's a perfect fit to go with the stock shield that goes on the back of the tank. So the tank still looks stock when it's placed. The only thing that you can see from the inside of the tank, which was my choice, is I took off the front plate so you could see this overflow and the stock rim pipe from the inside of the tank. But I did this on purpose because I want to see my water going in. I want to make sure there's no obstructions. If the water level rises too high, like right now it's very high, I'm not going to get into the Stockman pipe. There's plenty of videos on that. But with the vent, you can see the water levels high. When the vent is wide open, the water will do that. But if you plug the vent, the water goes right down. So you put an air vent regulator on here, and you can control the height of your water. So that's the one step I haven't done yet. But basically, when you're in the tank, you can see if there's any obstruction by the water level inside the tank. So that's what I'm looking for. I see the water level dropping now inside the tank, and I'll see if there's any obstructions. That water will come up, and once it reaches that level, I know that my Stockman pipe is clogged, which it happens all the time because there's small portholes. So basically, that's the only modification you'll be able to see. What I did was I took a 90-degree elbow and I sent it out the bottom of the tank with a 1-inch bulkhead, connected to a hose connector, threaded hose connector, and this is basically a 1-inch line. This is a test run, so I got to run it into just a regular 5-gallon bucket. I didn't get my refugium yet, but my next video will be on stocking the tank and how it performs and everything like that. But I made this video because after watching all those videos on this tank, nobody really gets into what they did with the filtration system. They just kind of show what they have, and especially the lighting, which is what I'm going to talk about next. A lot of people did a lot of LED modifications on this tank, and you know, they really just don't tell you. Like, oh, we use these zip ties, and went to the hardware store, and I mean, I'm not knocking them because they do look great, but you know, for me, I wanted to have, you know, a place to go, a thing to buy, and it took hours and hours to actually find, you know, what I was looking for. And this company, it's called Edge Bright. It specializes in making lights for this tank. This hood, I actually just got this today, is the stock hood, but they send it to you. The stock hood, it's got a fan inside. You can't really see it. The little silver circle you can kind of see. It weighs a good 3 or 4 pounds. This is actually a 36-watt LED, fully programmable. There's your program controller, hooks right up to the computer. Okay, it's got all different modes: sunlight, sunset, Eastern. You set it to your time zone, the whole 9 yards. So it's very good. They have all different wattages. The standard is a 9-watt they send, which is good for SPS corals and stuff like that. If that's all you plan on keeping, that's more than good enough. They got 9, 18, 36, and 52. This is the 36. The 52 is just overboard. But I mean, it's incredible. When you see in the beginning of the video how bright they are. I mean, that's actually just on the blues. The full spectrum is extremely bright, and that's exactly what I was looking for. So I'm very happy with those. Okay, so in order to make this fit, what I had to do was, getting back to the filter, I had to cut out a section, if you can see it like that, to fit my hose. To fit my 90-degree arm, because it doesn't fit if it's that low. You can make your overflow a little shorter, but I wouldn't recommend it. You want to have a big cup to catch your water. You know, I don't know. It adds to the water volume. For me, I think it's better. You don't want too small of an overflow, because something goes wrong, something gets clogged. I don't know. That's just me personally. It's not that I heard that anywhere, but whatever. But if you don't want to see that overflow, getting back to that, you could actually just black that out. You measure out the size of this plate, okay, and you black it out on the outside of the tank over here before you put anything on the tank. So if you black this out and then put your overflow, it'll appear exactly the way it comes stock. If you're, anal about the tank appearing totally stock. But besides that, I cut a hole out for the return on the bottom over here. Okay, and that cutout, you can't really see it on this camera, but it basically takes this hose and it runs it inside the tank like this, and it fits perfectly inside. Oh, and that's all together. That's what it is, guys. So, like I said, this video is meant just to explain the modifications on this tank. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for videos on the reef once I start building it. Thank you, guys.